Hi guys, this is Sadik from Broadwin.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to flash the latest MIUI GSI ROM based on Android 14 on any Android phone. So please take a backup of all the data on your phone and then let's get started. First off, get hold of Android SDK platform tools from my guide, and once you've done the download, extract them onto your PC. You could extract them anywhere you want. In my case, I've done the extraction in C drive, and these are the files of platform tools. Once that is done, you will now have to enable USB debugging and OEM unlocking. USB debugging is required for ADB command, whereas OEM unlocking is required to unlock the bootloader on your phone. So let's now carry out both this task. For that, go to the settings menu. From there, go to about phone and tap on build number or OS version 7 times. You will get a prompt that you are now a developer. So now go back and go to additional settings or system, and you should now see developer option. Go there and enable the toggle next to OEM unlocking as well as USB debugging. If you own a Xiaomi phone, Poco, Redmi or Mi, then you will get a warning sign. Checkmark I'm aware of all the risk and then tap on OK after 10 seconds. If this is the first time you are enabling USB debugging, you will also get an RC key prompt. In that case, tap on OK, and with this, debugging is now enabled. Let's verify the same. So go to platform folder address bar, type in CMD and hit enter. This will launch command prompt inside platform tools. Now type in ADB devices and hit enter, and make sure that you are getting a serial ID. If you are not getting any serial ID, then unplug and replug your phone from the PC. Disable and re-enable USB debugging. Tap on revoke USB debugging. Use the official USB cable that came with your phone and use the USB 2.0 port on your PC. So carry out this USB tweaks and make sure that you are getting an ID. Once you're getting an ID, your next course of action is to unlock the bootloader on your phone. Do note that doing so will wipe off all the data and it might make the warranty null and void as well. If that's well and good, you could refer to our guide and the video and get this job done. In most cases, you just have to boot your phone to fastboot mode and use the fastboot flashing unlock command. Whereas in case of Xiaomi phones, you will have to use the Mi unlock tool to get this job done. Once you have unlocked the bootloader, you will be taken back to the OS. So make sure to re-enable USB debugging once again, and then let's move ahead. So now you will get hold of the MIUI GSI ROM based on Android 14 from here. The latest build is version 2.070. So regarding this, as you could see, there are quite a few variants of this ROM. So let's try and understand which ROM file should you download. So for the ease of convenience, I will advise you to install the Travel Info app from Play Store. So just a minute, give me a second, I will install that app as well. So go to the Play Store and install the Travel Info app and then launch it. So this should be here itself, just a minute. And this is the app. You may install the app from Play Store or do the side loading as well. Both will work. In my case, I am currently not logged in to any account, so I am doing the side loading. Let me allow all and install the app. Once you have installed the app, okay, you will again have to wait for 10 seconds in case of Xiaomi phones. This is one of the most infuriating UI UX experience across any Android phone. Anyways, we can't do much about this. Let's tap on OK and let's install the app. Now launch the Travel Info app. Go to the details tab and let's now verify the architecture and everything from here. So first and foremost, you will have to, this is the ROM name, the MIUI UDON version 2070 is the version. After that comes the CPU architecture. In most cases, it should be ARM64. As you could see, it's ARM64. On some extremely old phones, it might be ARM32. ARM32 is also known as A64, but most of the Android phones should be ARM64. After the CPU architecture comes a variant of AB or A. So in this regard, if your phone is system as root enabled, as you could see, it's enabled system as root, then in that case, your phone should be B, and in sometimes B is also known as AB. So again, I'm repeating, if your phone is system as root enabled, then your phone should be B, and B is also known as AB. On the other hand, if your phone system as root is disabled, then your phone is A only, and it will be shown as just A. So over here, it is AB, and AB signifies that it is B only or it is system as root in our case. So we could download any of these ROM from here. The rest of the ROM cannot be downloaded because it's not ARM64, and all the ROMs are AB, so that is not a cause of concern. All the ROMs are system as root. Moving on, next up you could see some are the G apps, whereas the other are the non-G apps. The G apps build are those which comes with pre-installed Google apps and packages, whereas the non-G apps are those which does not have any G app packages in them. Finally comes the VNDK Lite and the non-VNDK Lite. So if your phone is shown as Lincoln namespace isolation is shown as VNDK is not in light mode, as in the case in my phone VNDK is not in light mode, then you will have to download the non-VNDK ROM, which is these two ROMs are non-VNDK. Whereas if in your phone the VNDK is in light mode, then download a ROM file which is in VNDK. So this ROM is a VNDK, or this is also VNDK. In my case, the VNDK is not in light mode, so I will download any of these two ROM. So for most of us, it will be either this ROM or this ROM. The first ROM is the vanilla build, whereas the second one is the GApps. Apart from that, ARM64 is for most of the Android phone. AB is also there for most of the Android phone. Likewise, most of the Android phone are non-VNDK Lite. So for most of us, it should be either this or this, any one of these two. But still, please verify the same from the Tribble Info app. I have made a separate guide on the same as well. You could refer to my guide also if you have any queries. And with this, let's get hold of the ROM file. So as of now, I will download the non-GApps build, which is this one. So if your phone is an older one and if your phone does not have enough system partition size, then it's recommended to download the non-GApps build. Otherwise, you will not be able to flash the GSI ROM file. On the other hand, if your phone's system partition is quite large, for instance 3 or 4 GB, then you could easily flash the GApps package as well. But if you are not sure, or if the system partition is quite small, then simply flash the non-GApps build. It's quite small, and after that you may install the required GApps packages one at a time or by doing a side load. Anyways, as of now, I am just installing the non-GApps packages. So get hold of the ROM file from here, and once you have got the ROM file, extract it onto your PC. So for extraction, you may use the 7-zip software. Right click on it, select show more option, then choose 7-zip and extract to MICUI, and it will take only a few seconds. Once that is done, you will now have to copy the GSI file inside this folder, the MICUI, and transfer it inside the platform tools. So let's do that as well. And with this, we have done the transfer. Let's now rename the GSI file to something shorter. So let's rename it to GSI, and the complete name becomes gsi.img. So let's now move on with the next step. Now you will have to get hold of the VBMeta file. Make sure to extract it from the same stock firmware which is currently installed onto your phone. You could verify the same via the build number or the OS version. So let me show you. In my case, the OS version is 1070 UMRINXM. So also make sure that it should be of the same region to which you currently belong. So in case of Xiaomi, let me show you. By default, the Xiaomi firmwares are in this format. So over here, this is the OS version. Then the U stands for the Android version, which is U upside down cake, and MR is the device code, which is MR Poco F5, and the next two is the region. IN stands for India, then CN is for China, EU is for Europe, and MI is for global. After that, XM is the firmware code, which is same for all the Xiaomi phones. So by default, the Xiaomi firmware will be in the .tgz format. So please extract it using 7-zip, and you will get a .tar file. Again, extract it using 7-zip, and then you will get the folder and the images file. From here, you may copy the vbmeta.img file and transfer it inside the platform tool folder on your PC. Likewise, if you talk about the Pixel phone, then their firmware are in the normal zip file. You must simply extract it using the inbuilt Windows extraction tool. Then if you talk about OnePlus or Oppo phones, their firmware are in the payload bin file. So you will have to use the Fastboot Enhance tool to extract the file. So first and foremost, transfer the VB payload bin file inside the Fastboot Enhance tool. Once that is done, launch the Enhance tool via the exe file, go to payload dumper, hit the browse button, then select the payload bin file, click on open, go to partition, select the VBMeta file from here. It should be somewhat here itself. Select it, checkmark allow incremental, and click on extract image, choose a location and click OK. And with this, we have got the file. Let me show you in the desktop. This is the VBMeta file. So you may extract the VBMeta from your firmware, and just a couple of things to keep in mind is that it should be of the same firmware which is currently installed onto your phone. Likewise, you should always use the Fastboot ROM and not the recovery ROM. Moreover, it should be a full factory image and not the OTA image. So keep this point in mind. Get hold of the VBMeta file, and once that is done, make sure that both the GSI and VBMeta files are there inside the platform folder on your PC. If that's well and good, then let's proceed ahead with the next step. So now you will have to boot your phone to Fastboot mode. For that, just type in ADB reboot bootloader and hit enter. And our phone should now reboot into fastboot mode in a matter of few seconds. Now type in fastboot devices and hit enter and make sure that you are getting a serial ID. If you are not getting any ID, then you will have to install fastboot drivers. I have made a separate guide on how you can install these drivers. So refer to my guide and the video and get this job done. Once you have installed the drivers, right click on the Windows icon and choose device manager. Then expand the Android phone section and make sure that your phone is being shown as Android bootloader interface. So this as well as the serial ID next to fastboot signify that our PC is able to read the phone in fastboot mode, and we are now good to go ahead. So now first and foremost you will have to disable the verification check by flashing the VB-Meta file. So copy the entire command and paste it in the CMD window and hit enter. And with this the verification check has been turned off. Let's now move ahead, and now you will have to boot your phone to the fastboot D mode. So type in fastboot reboot fastboot and your phone will now reboot into fastboot D mode. It will take only a few seconds for that to happen, and the fastboot D screen might vary depending on the phone that you are using. Currently I am using a Poco F5, and as you could see, this is the fastboot D screen in my case. Now moving on, first and foremost you will have to remove the product A partition so as to make space for the GSI ROM. So copy the entire command and paste it in the CMD window and hit enter, and the product A partition has been removed. So now you may proceed ahead and flash the GSI ROM in the system partition. So type in fastboot flash partition name, which is system, and the ROM file, which is gsi.img, and hit enter, and the ROM will now start flashing. The GSI file has been broken down into sub smaller tense partition, so each of these individual files will now be flashed. With that said, the flashing is now complete, and now you will have to do a format data. So type in fastboot space -w and hit enter, and the format data is now done. Finally type in fastboot reboot, and your phone should now reboot to the newly flashed OS. Do keep in mind that the first boot up will take up some additional time frame. This is completely normal and nothing to worry about. From the subsequent time, that will not be the case. Let's just wait for the boot animation to appear. If that happens, then the ROM has been flashed successfully, and we could then move ahead with the next step. So let's just wait for a few more seconds, and as you could see, it's the boot animation which we have got, and it's definitely looks quite interesting to see a deviation from the normal path. And with this, we are inside the OS. I did not got this setup screen because I haven't flashed any GApps packages. If you have flashed the GApp packages, you will get the Google backup and restore the data and do a login to your account and carry out a data restore and all that stuff. Since I have not flashed GApps, I am getting a complete vanilla experience. This is the browser, file manager, gallery, calls and messaging app. That's just about it, the required features. And then if you go to the settings menu, let's check out. So it's definitely quite interesting. Okay, so we have a taskbar as well. Let me try it out. So we have got the taskbar. This is the search menu. So the transparency effect comes into the play, and you may enable the transparency effect and then open any app from here. Let me go back and let's try out the call option. And okay, this is not in the transparency effect, so I guess it might just be a UI bug. And you may enable the taskbar from anywhere on your screen. Simply long press, simply do a minimal swipe up of the navigation bar pill, and the taskbar will appear at the bottom of the screen. It's just in the search bar that the transparency effect bug is there. Apart from that, it's quite well and good. If you open any other app, there will be no transparency effect, which is quite good to see. And let's check out some of the other features. These are the PHS triple settings which you get across all the GSI ROM. The first one is the Qualcomm features. You may enable a few audio tweaks. Then you have the Xiaomi features. It will depend on the phone that you own. Mine is a Xiaomi, so I'm getting this. Double tap to wake. Let me check it out, and it's working well and good. Apart from that, few miscellaneous tweaks are also there. These are some advanced level tweaks, so make sure that you know very well beforehand what you are getting into, or it might lead to a few issues. As you could see, there are quite a lot of advanced tweaks for you to check out. Then you have a few IMS features. So if the IMS network or modem is not working around the expected line, you may carry out this tweak to rectify the issue. Then customization features. So there might not be many features over here. Let me check it out. This is the status bar. You may enable or disable the icon that you don't want to see in the status bar. Then DND button, volume button shortcut, ambient display is also there, navigation bar, layout. So apart from that, you may choose the accent color. Only one option is there, icon shape. Well, there are a few options to choose from, such as rounded hexagon, and the changes have been implemented as you could see from here. Then this is the icon pack. Let's select filled, and then apart from that, you have the font family as well. There are quite a lot of fonts to choose from. This is quite good to see, because generally in GSI ROM we don't have these many options. For instance, this is the Rubik font and this is the Pixel font. Do note that whatever font you choose from will be implemented across the entire UI and UX and all the apps as well. And apart from that, you have a few audio effect tweaks as well. Well, there are quite a lot of audio effects tweaks. I have not seen these many audio enhancement in any GSI ROM till date. So it's quite impressive, and as you could see, the manufacturer of these audio tweaks have also been given by such as the Dolby, Qualcomm. So you may enable the one in which you have the most trusted. This is by the AOSP ROM as well, and this is the updater app. You may update your phone from here and check for the update as well directly from here. And apart from that, this is the about device section, just the basic tweaks that you get from here. Then you will get these icons whenever there is a new section. This also looks quite interesting. I cannot say it looks good or bad, but it's quite intriguing and kind of weird, but in a good way. Something deviation from the norms, and it's definitely welcome. Then this is the wallpaper and clock and lock screen. So as you might be aware, it follows the Material You theming engine. It automatically picks up the major color from the wallpaper and apply across the UI and UX of the phone. As of now, the purple color is the dominant color in the wallpaper, so it's implementing that only. You may change the wallpaper from here and then choose the color as well, or simply tap on this icon and choose the wallpaper from here, or you may also choose the colors from here as well. Likewise, you have the option to enable dark theme, and this is the dark theme. Apart from that, you may go to the home screen and enable the themed icon, and as you could see, it has been implemented. You may change the app grid as well till 6x6. It's quite great to see. And so my initial impression is that it's one of those GSI ROM which has quite a lot of customizations. In my case, I have flashed quite a lot of GSI ROM, but I guess this one has the maximum number of customizations till date. We usually don't see these many options to customize. Just a minute, let me go back to the white theme. For once, I was loving the white theme more than the dark theme. I don't know why is that the case, but let me simply go back and change the theme as well. It will take only a few seconds. So let me go back to the white theme, and it looks much better than the dark theme, because the dark theme is not the black theme. I am a fan of black theme, but usually I don't like these grayish theme, you could say. And apart from that, okay, it has a few own stuffs as well. So media notification tweaks, you may enable the status bar lyrics. If you play a song, then the lyrics of that song will be shown in the status bar, but it will only be applicable to those apps which support it. You may also enable media art cover in the lock screen, but it will lead to additional battery drainage. Then you have the no icon factory, so you may enable the colored icon in the status bar. Then you may choose an icon pack from here in the status bar as well. These are usually there in the custom ROMs, but again, it's quite great to see that it's there in the GSI ROM as well. Then you may choose from the icon shapes. Let's go with the, let's say, flower, and check out the result. It has been implemented. Then let's get back, and that is all, I guess. So there are a few MIUI screen, Miku screen power settings as well. You may enable the OLED panel power, and this will turn off some pixel to save the battery. And that is it. And then you have a few advanced tweaks as well regarding JavaScripts and zoom in. If you want, you may enable them as well. And with this was all from this guide. So guys, if you have any queries with regard to any of the steps, do let me know in the comment section, and thanks a lot for watching.